What's up, gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. So in this one, I'm going to talk about a topic that most men will think that has nothing to do with dating, but it actually has. Because we're going to talk about money and men's relationship with money and how they handle money and how that impacts how men view and behave in dating. Because I've been in this space for years now and I've had thousands of conversations with men and I've done many consultations with men, and I always see certain patterns coming back. And with a lot of men, I see the same pattern over and over again. And that is that men who are fearful with money always struggle with women as well. And we're not talking like sometimes or occasionally. We're talking like 9 times out of 10, probably even more than that. Because fear is very unattractive to women and they can smell it from a mile away. Because fear will make you hesitant and fear will make you passive. And fear will make women run away from you before you even get to know them. Because to a large extent, money and dating, they have a lot of overlap and they are kind of the same game. Because if you want to succeed in dating, then you need to take risks. And if you want to make real money, then you also have to take risks. And in dating, you will risk getting rejected, for example. You will risk becoming uncomfortable, looking foolish, embarrassing yourself, being judged by others. And in business and with making money, you also have to face uncertainty. And you have to accept that you will lose comfort. And you will have to face criticism. And you will have to face that people will doubt you. And that's why often men that need help the most in dating, they are living their lives very fearfully. They constantly overthink like, oh, but what will happen if this and this happens and she says this or she does that? And that's why guys that already naturally are open to risks, those guys often crush it already in dating. Because those guys, they already approach. Those guys, they already put themselves out there. And they are not afraid to make a fool of themselves or to get embarrassed. And these kind of guys, if they work with a coach, they often also make the biggest transformations. Now, for example, in my case, when I just started working with a coach myself, I also had to take risks in order for me to make that happen. Because when I signed up with my coach, I was almost broke. I didn't have the money and I also didn't feel financially safe. And there were no guarantees that I was going to succeed. But I borrowed the money and I signed up working with my coach anyway. And most guys will say that that is irresponsible and that it is risky. But now, many years later, I've been on hundreds of dates. And my entire life changed because I was able to make that decision under uncertainty. And I trusted myself and I was confident that things were going to work out, even if it didn't look responsible on paper. And that's why I succeeded, and that's why later on I saw that many other guys were not succeeding because of that. They just live their lives totally fearful and they have no balls. Because most modern men are addicted to comfort. They avoid uncertainty, and often on calls you will then hear them, well, that is risky. Or they will say, well, I have to save money first to get started. Or they will say, well, I have to think about it. Or they will say, well, I have to wait for a little bit. Or in other words, basically just kicking the tire down the road. And all of these excuses, they have the same root cause, which is basically, I am scared to pull the trigger and actually trust myself that I'm going to lead this to a great outcome. I'm scared of uncertainty and I'm addicted to comfort. And you will see this especially with men that are very unexperienced in dating. Especially the younger guys in their mid to early 20s. Those guys, they are absolutely paralyzed by any form of uncertainty and any form of discomfort. Because these kids, they never had to face any serious risk in their lives. They have never done really hard physical work and they have also never really faced a lot of uncertainty. And that's why often guys that have tougher backgrounds, they just do way better in coaching, but also in dating in general. Because guys that had hard jobs or they had jobs where they had to face a lot of risk and uncertainty, those guys, they're already used to it. So that's basically it, guys. Most guys do not need more information about what to do with their dating lives. They need to grow up, they need to grow some balls, and they need more courage. Because that lack of courage is why they are not approaching women, why they are not taking a lot of action in their dating lives, and why they just stay stuck for many years. And they will hide behind logic and money concerns and being responsible, all of that, to basically cover up that they don't have the guts to do it. And men also have to accept the reality that there is nothing so life-threatening that can happen to them if they take a risk. Because if you approach a girl, the worst that will happen is that she rejects you, and that's it. And there's also nothing life-threatening that can happen if you invest in yourself and you work with a coach. Men have become soft because they have been soothed all their lives. And ultimately, everything that you want out of life, it it's on the opposite end of comfort. Everything you want out of life requires risk and uncertainty. And that's why I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Stop playing it so safe in your life. Stop living like a total wuss. If you want real results, then you need to accept that real risk is going to come with it. Because if it was that easy, then everyone would already have it. Now, if you're ready to stop living so fearfully in your life, then you can book a call with me with the link in the bio, and I can help you to level up your dating life in the next few months. Subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns like this, and peace.